Good morning, I would say, because I'm in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So good morning from here to everybody, wherever you are. My name is Frank Ajisegbe, or you call me Frank Zanu, and I'll be acting as a moderator for this second info session of VASE Ghana. The last one took place last year. We had only about, I think, 11 people, and now look, 28 people, which means the word is going around, and I'm really happy and have everybody here. So, yes, my job is to give you a brief overview of this project, which means that I will let you see the landscape, the community, the history, the people of where VASE project in Ghana is located, which is called Kumase in Ghana. But first, why not? Let's start with the person behind the project, which is just fair to do so, to give a brief of the company and the owner of the company, so that we can go into. The nitty-gritty of the project itself will be presented by V. I'm going to give you a general overview of the Vista project or VASE Ghana. So, of course, everybody knows Vicentia Eduse, who is the owner of VASE Construction Management. And I would say I live in Connecticut. I've known VASE for the last 3 decades. It is one of the women-owned full construction management company in Connecticut. V also is seated on the governor's commissioner for what we call historical buildings. And she has renovated, I think, a couple of historical buildings to bring economic boost to the towns in Connecticut. So yes, VASE is an award-winning construction management company in Connecticut. So many that no wall in her office can take up all the citations and awards she has received, including, of course, the prestigious All Women Powerful Council of Women Entrepreneurs. She's been recognized from the mayor of city of Bridgeport, New Haven, and the governor of the state of Connecticut. She has worked with one of the most powerful construction companies and competed with them, beating them sometimes in bids or losing to them. Today, we make a joke all the time. And this is important for everyone to know. That's why I'm saying it. It is important to give the credibility behind the person who is running this project. In 2009, VASE bidded with a very, very powerful organization. And she lost to them. And we all took a little sip of vodka and we went home. Today, that organization is working for VASE. And I tell thee, when God is on your side, and you all know her, she's very, very strong in her faith. So these are some of the stories you need to know about V. Now, why did V win all these awards in Connecticut? It's because in construction management, it is not the beauty of the building that makes you receive an award. Is that you always finish a project ahead of schedule and within budget. So if you're giving someone to build something for you, if you miss 1 month, prices go up, your budget is going up. That is why it is critical to watch a construction company like VASE that has always maintained these two things, ahead of schedule and within budget. You will know soon when you see her staff. So let's go straight to one. Anyone who is looking to invest in this project to become owner of one of the condos of the Vista project, 3 things you can never get. And I have studied all the real estate projects going on in Ghana. 3 things you will never get. 1, this is the only one where the owner would also own a property in the building. Number 2, it's the birthplace of the owner, Kumase. Number 3, she has strong ties spanning over 100 years with the community. 4, the father was the first in West Africa to be a construction company owner under the Queen's regime when Ghana was colonized. So she's from the bloodline of construction. So this is not you working with somebody who just bought a piece of land in a strange place in Ghana and trying to build and trying to sell. It is somebody who is from the place, knows the place, has a relationship even currently with the king of the Ashanti region. So we're talking about Kumase. And for those of you who know the area, then I'm going to bore you. But if you do not know, when they talk about West Africa or Ghana in particular, even when we were in high school, no other tribe among the 38 tribes in Ghana is ever mentioned in the history when we're teaching about Ghana. It's always the Ashanti Empire. So if you have read it in high school, that is the place we are talking about. So buying a property in Kumasi has three benefits. One, it's not too far from Accra, but it's far removed from all the traffic, the crowdiness, the security issues, the safety. In Kumasi, you are buying a property in a place that is blend of traditions. It has a lower cost of living and it has absolute safety and security for a very relaxed environment. Number five, Kumasi people proud themselves for being the owners of their own buildings. So when you are in Kumasi as a homeowner, you are immediately automatically connected to everybody in the area. Your children will know everybody, everybody will know your children, and you feel safe. It is the home of the famous oldest University of Science and Technology. It is the home of one of the most prominent hospitals, the Kumasi Hospital, and of course, home of the Manshia Palace, Kumasi, founded by the first king of that place, whom the British conquered. So that is a place you're going. You're buying history, culture, traditions, safety, security, and fun and relaxation. And guess what? You are close to V. So that is what brings us to this place. The exact location of this place in Kumasi is called Dichemso. Dichemso has three things. One, it has the Prempeh International Airport, developing international airport, and it is less than 10 minutes from the location of this property. Now, in anywhere in West Africa, a travel to the airport is far more than going to Alaska by car from Connecticut. So that is number one. Number two, today, the Zem Petroleum, which is changing tech hub in the area, it's also located very close to Dichemso. And Dichemso has become a new bustling area for real estate. So Kumasi, why? Kumasi, as many people do not know, is the second largest city in Ghana with a very low population. Kumasi is the economic, commercial, and trading hub in Ghana. It is home to the biggest market ever found in not Ghana, but West Africa, called the Kejetia Open Marketplace. So you want fresh from farm food? Yes, anything. Investment in Kumasi is far different from nobody owns it Accra. So Accra is a collection of everybody from everywhere who is just trying to get a piece of the apple. Kumasi is not like that. It is everybody who is trying to put something into port to develop that place. And that is where the Ghana VASE Vista project is located. One of the historical places in Kumasi, if you want your child or yourself to be immersed, no matter what is your field of interest, Kumasi has it all. Technology, yes, the Kumasi University of Technology. Culture, of course. That is the only thing people talk about, the Ashanti Empire, which is why the British came in the first place. Number two, three, the Obuasi gold mines located right there in Kumasi. Number four, arts and trade. Number five, like I mentioned earlier, of course, absolute security. For those of you who may not know, Ghana, three past presidents, two living presidents, one first lady, all came directly from the Ashanti region or Kumasi. So even when you are in Ghana and your property is in Kumasi, just by merely saying, I live in Kumasi, people tend to look at you like you live in California by saying, I live in Beverly Hills. And so V has worked the last 3 years. We've seen this thing grow until we all sat down and watched the 3D rendition and our jaws drop. And for those of you who have seen it, you would agree with me. This is in the soul of VASE construction management, this Vista. It will be one of a kind, built by one, what you should all know or know already. This is a construction management owner who has built and succeeded in America and taking this experience to Ghana. You know that that will be different from everybody else who is just coming into the game at secondhand real estate or construction management companies. We are going to leave a plenty of room for Q&A. so that you can ask all the questions. So we are not going to take much of your time. I'm sure you've gone to the website and you have studied it and you've seen it and you have your questions to ask so that you go into the nitty-gritty, which is one. V will be talking about the building itself. What are the amenities in it? Timeline, prices, if there is any. And then she will go into the tour that would happen during the visit in December. So at this point, I would say I'll hand it over to V to put up the slide for this presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Frank. And Frank does a good job boosting me up, so I appreciate that. But thank you everyone so much for your time. I know it's Saturday and it's not easy to make the time for this. So on behalf of VASE and the entire team, we truly appreciate you and thank you again for your time and being here. I would like to start by just saying a few things about the team that we have in place. I think Frank did a great job telling us about this project and the passion and why we are doing this. But it's also very important to know that this is not a project that is one person doing it alone. Being from Ghana and being from Africa, I was brought up to believe that it takes a village. It doesn't just take a village, it takes a village of experienced people, people that are very specialized in the key areas of what they are doing. And with that being said, those are the people that are going to be involved in this project. Every image that you see here is been thought out, just like Frank mentioned earlier. Every project that we do here in the US, being my background, focusing in the US on construction management of hospitals, universities, government housing, I'm very good at making sure that we find the right team to do each project that we do. And with Digital Vista, we have the right team. This is a wonderful team I'm very proud of. They bring a wealth of experience and they treat this project as their own. Of course, this project, as Frank mentioned, will be my home. So you will be rest assured that we're going to do it exactly as I will want to see it and as you will want to see you living in there. With that being said, I would like to go over a couple of things about the history of this project. About 3 years ago, I was in Ghana and I said, oh, wow, Ghana is growing, Accra is growing. But I was born and raised in Kumasi, and I've always have a deep passion of Kumasi. In the past 3 years, I consistently see Kumasi growing and growing, both business, economic, family. And every time I go to Ghana, with all of the excitement happening in Accra, I always end up in Kumasi, and that is the place where I love to live and I love to stay. So that was the origination and the dream of this project that have now seen fruition. So I'll give you a brief, the team that is here today that will be able to answer some questions at the end. We have the architectural team in there. We have the construction team on there. We have myself here. We have the legal team there. We have the marketing team here. So we'll be able to answer a lot of questions that you may have as we go forward. I will come back and talk briefly about the project. I do know that a couple of people have to leave early, so I will go through very quickly regarding the presentation so that we can move forward. This is the team. I'll come back and talk about the project again, but this brief overview about the project is that it is 60 unit condominium development. It's very close to the airport. So the photo you see on your right, there's 2 arrows. The first arrow that is on top here is the units as you see from the airport. And the second arrow to the right is the airport. So it just kind of shows you that this 10-story building condominium that we are viewing is going to be one of the first buildings that you see when you arrive in the airport. It takes about 2.5 minutes drive to and from. The photo you see on the right side is the property itself, and the arrow you see is the airport. So not that the airport is the main attraction here, but it is nice to know that when you travel and you come to the condo, you have a very short trip from the plane to the house. We have 61 units that we are selling. We are going to open up the sales on April 6th of 2026, at which time we only have room for 60 units. It will be first come, first serve. At the same time, on April 6th, we are going to open up the tour in December. The tour is essentially for anyone that have not been in Ghana before that would like to explore Ghana, we welcome you to come to this visit. Part of the tour would also show and view this particular property when we get down there to Ghana. Again, showing you again the distance of the property too. And as you can tell, as Frank mentioned, this is Dichemso in general. It is developing. There's a lot of exciting stuff that is happening around the area. Whether you have an airport view or you have the town view, it's a wonderful place to be right in the mix of everything that is happening. And then, of course, I mentioned earlier that we're going to have the trip in December. The trip is going to begin. We want you guys to spend the Christmas with your family and then come on the tour on December 30th, ringing in the new year. We're going to be staying at the Labadi Beach Hotel. There's nothing better than walking into the beach and seeing the fireworks and ringing in the new year in Ghana. So hopefully all of you guys will join me whether you're interested in the project or you're just interested in touring Ghana. Also, the tour is going to focus on the 4 out of the 6 regions in Ghana: the Accra region, the Central region, the Ashanti region, and the Eastern region. And then we'll open up for questions and answers. So with that said, I am going to now talk a bit about the project itself. As I mentioned earlier, this project is close to my heart, and it's close to something that I've been thinking about doing. There was never the right time to go to build in Ghana. I think I loved Accra, but I always knew that Accra is a place that is already wonderful. And Dichemso or Ashanti region is a place that is going to be the next Accra or has the riches and culture, which I love. The roads were not in the best shape for a long time. But in the past 3 years, I've consistently seen the government improve Dichemso, improve Kumasi, improve the Ashanti region. And then finally, a couple of years ago, I went back and I was 110% sure that this project is ready to go. So this is where we are. With this particular project, the vision is that you can be in Ghana, you can be in Dichemso, you can be in your unit, and you have everything that you need within this unit. I envision, what would I want to do when I'm in this unit? I want to go to the Sky Bar and have a drink with one of you guys here. I want to be able to go to the cinema. I want to be able to go to the pool. I want to be able to buy small items from the small grocery store that we have in there. All of the things that I envision and I've seen that feels like it will make life comfortable, it's going to be put into this particular development. But walk right outside and be in Africa and be in the Ashanti region. That's the vision behind this project. So whether you are exploring buying a unit and staying with me or exploring coming on the tour, I welcome you. The website that is vaseghana.com has consistently updated information on this particular project. On April 6th, you are going to see documentations about purchasing and lease agreements. You're going to see documentation about the construction documents as far as the preliminary plans and the preliminary schedule. And as we move forward, I'm going to also share with you the worst case scenario on the schedule. And the reason why it's going to be the worst case scenario is because this is a unique development and this is in Africa. There are certain things that we have control over and there are certain things that we will not have control over. So I am going to give you the big picture of the timeline and the schedule. And as far as how we bring this schedule in ahead of schedule, it's going to be, you will see, all up to us. So with that being said, I'll go into the schedule and that'll be the last thing that I'm going to talk about before I open up for questions and answers. While I'm going over the schedule, if anybody has or knows someone in the waiting area, just tell me so that I can take the time and put them up. The one thing that I will mention about this particular development is that I have some good news for everyone. And the good news is that with this particular design that you see here, the architectural team and VASE is working very hard to perfect it. So when we get into April, you might see I guess some people will call it 2.0 version, but it will be significantly much more enhanced as you come on board to see this. Also on the website, I just want to show you on the VASE Ghana website, all of the information about the tour, the events, the team will consistently be updated. So if you have any questions at all, please come on here. Also, we have a Q&A or frequently asked questions that are placed here. I am realizing that a lot of the questions that comes up are the same questions. So we have built this website to be able to give you guys the most updated information about the questions that have been asked. So I'm going to go over very quickly on the timeline. Frank says I speak fast sometimes. I'm going to go as slow as possible. This is where, well, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Not sure what's happening here. Okay. This is a preliminary timeline that we have so far. I want to emphasize a lot on the on or before. The on or before is very critical because if all the activities that I mentioned are being able to accomplish sooner, then the finish line would always become faster than what we have here. We are in what you call pre-construction phase now. And pre-construction entails legal documents. The purchase and service agreement that I mentioned will be available on April 6th. The marketing documents, the design and the architectural documents, the sales, which is where you guys come in and help us to sell. The cost estimates, we want to make sure that this project is not only efficient, but also is reasonable in terms of cost then. The permitting sets, and I have some good news. I have the architectural team. I heard some good news yesterday from the architectural team about the permitting and how we have some favoritism. We may have some favoritism when it comes to going after the permits. And of course, the entire pre-construction. In a typical project, the pre-construction could take about 4 to 6 months, but we do understand that life happens and things could potentially happen. That being said, we are allowing about 10 months for that pre-construction. Now, when we open the registration up on April 6th, and a best case scenario, we're able to sell this project within the first couple of months, great. That timeline is going to move forward. From that, once we've been able to secure sufficient funding to get the project going, we are going to move on to the construction phase. One of the things that we're going to be doing with the construction phase is that we're going to insert cameras around the perimeter for those of you that have signed up or agreed to purchase, so you can see the development wherever you are in the world. The construction phase is typically estimated to be about 14 months. We are projecting about 20 months. Again, I mentioned to you, there are certain things that we have control over. There are certain things that we may not have control over. I'll give you some examples of the things that we may not have control over. Our goal is that when we start construction, we are going to order the materials at the same exact time. There's something in that construction industry that we call long lead time. What that means is that when we purchase the materials or equipment for the construction, we've purchased it. The vendor may have given us 4 or 5 months lead time for the products or equipment to arrive. That may not be the case because sometimes some of these equipments are coming in from overseas. So that is what I mean when I mentioned that the long lead time, we are going to project about 20 months to get through construction. Also inspections, right? When you get through the different aspect of the construction where you need the building department to come in and inspect to make sure that the things that we're building are meeting code compliances, you are 100% dependent on the schedule of the building officials. So those are some of the things that we cannot control. But everything else that we can control, you have to trust that we are going to make sure that we can control and get within the timeline. If everything goes according to plan, we should be able to get the project done in about 14 to 16 months from when we start the construction. And at the worst case scenario, we're looking at about 20 months from that time. Once that is done, we're going to be meeting with the folks that have purchased the units. We're going to get going into the substantial completion. By that particular time, the units are all going to be the same, but we are going to be working with the architectural team and the interior designers. We will offer 2 or 3 options of the units. You are welcome to bring everything that you already own into this unit, but we can also offer you a package where, and that will be separate from the acquisition pricing. We'll offer you a package where you can buy the unit interiors when it's all said and done. The units will be finished with the most basic items that you need, which is the finishes, the dishwashers, closets, everything that you walk in. But things like your bed, your living room set, we can make arrangements for you to get that assistance to buy to bring in. And that will take about 3 months. And then, of course, we all hope that I'm going to see all of you here at the grand opening a month later after we move in. So this is the tentative schedule that we have. When we get going into this project, our hope, our best case scenario hope is that if you decide to purchase the property, you put 100% down. But these are the 4 tiers that we have. The 4 tiers of the payment schedule is in line with our construction schedule. So that means that our construction team is able to take 50% upfront and then the schedule as it comes down. We are in return doing the same thing with you. So once you sign on board to be a part of this project, we are going to communicate with you every step of the way. The legal team is also going to be on standby at any given time to answer any questions that you have going forward. So that, with that being said, this will conclude my presentation of the project itself. I am now going to stop sharing my screen and leave it up for questions and answers. If there are questions that you have that I may have to share my screen again, I'll be willing to do that. But that being said, I'd like to leave it for questions and answers, please.
Beautiful.
And I will mention also again that I do have some of my team members here. So depending on the questions that you have, I may have to direct it to a team member. I see a question of Sana. I get what is the question that you have? If you can raise your hand, I'll be good. That way I can go according to the order. That'd be great.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent presentation so far. So I just had a question about community family life for individuals who may have children, under the age of 18. What does the community look like for the children? And is the building complex child friendly? What may be some amenities for children, families, and then also some of the languages that, is it easy? Is it, American friendly? If you guys could talk a little bit about some pros for people who have families.
Of course, I will start, and then when I'm finished, I am going to also ask Emmanuel, which we affectionately call Phoebe, Tony, as well as Kwame to also add to what I'm saying, only because they live there now. So, but I will start. The first question regarding kids, is the building kids friendly? It is kids friendly. We actually have a daycare dedicated to the building. So when you walk into the property at first, the first thing you're gonna see is a security person to help bring you in. In that, there's a daycare right next to it, so you can leave your kids there and make sure that they are very close to security place. So that is the question about the building. As far as the language is concerned, yes, Ghana do speak English. So if your language is English, you will have no problem getting around and talking and speaking to people. Part of the tour is also going to be around education. So we're going to visit some of the schools, the university. We're going to visit the hospitals. My brother-in-law actually is a neurosurgeon at the Comfort Anoche Teaching Hospital, so he do a tour for us. The architectural team is also very vast in the culture itself, the Ashanti culture. So I will have them talk a bit about it. So if you don't mind, I think I don't know, Phoebe, Anthony, if you are there, please, if you can chime in regarding the culture in Kumasi.
Okay. So my name is Emmanuel Ofobi. For the area, the very cosmopolitan area, it's located, as you said, about 2 minutes drive from the airport. And because of its location, it's a area that is very friendly to guests, visitors, and everybody, and it has a lot of families living over there with a lot of rich culture and history. So because of its proximity to the, and it's an area that a lot of tourists tend to come to. So it's a very friendly thing.
Well, first, sir, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm very familiar with Ghana. I've been going back and forth to Ghana since Rawlings' time, and my son is half Ghanaian. I was married to a Ghanaian, and I've been to the Ashanti region, and I'm trying to encourage people to invest. But I had a couple of questions. One, does the buying the condo also follow the same 50 plus years? I believe it was 99 when it comes to ownership and being able to pass it on to the next generation. And also, I wanted to know, does it come with any residency status? Because if not, I know someone who can help people with residencies. He was supposed to be on the call, but he had to attend a meeting in Accra. So I wanted to know those two things because people have been asking me about residency, if it comes with any type of residency, and also about the rules of inheritance and years of ownership.
Of course. Kwame is also here with us. My screen only show one screen, but Kwame, if you will not mind to chime in on that question. And I can also add to it after regarding the rules so on the residency and the rules, I do know that on our sales and purchase agreement, we go into very details what that means for you in terms of the acquisition of this property, the Ghana laws that is encompasses of it. So we'll go into details of that. But if Kwame wants to chime in and I think he's having Kwame, can you hear me? I see you're talking, but I can't hear you too well. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Can you chime in on that?
So which of the questions? Yes. Which one exactly?
So guys, Kwame is the person preparing. So we have actually, it's funny because it's an interesting project. We have two lawyers on board. Kwame is our legal counsel in Ghana. We also have our legal counsel in the US. So Kwame, being our legal counsel in Ghana, is very integral with the laws and the rules. So Kwame, if you can answer the question regarding the 50% or an American owning project. I'm sorry, if you're not talking, can you mute yourself, if you don't mind?
Okay.
I think it's Bill. If you don't
Yes,
mind,
I may.
yourself, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Essential. So, my understanding is that the question is about foreign ownership. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tahir, that's correct.
Yes. So, as a starter, the basic rule that we have is that foreigners can very much own property in Ghana. You can own land, and any form of real estate is possible for a foreigner to hold. However, what our rules have said in our constitution is that if you are a foreigner, any ownership of land that you hold has to be a leasehold, which means that definitely the laws of Ghana are not permitting you to hold the land in perpetuity. So the laws are also stipulating that the leasehold that you are being given is for, at any one given time, a term of 50 years. But the laws go further to say that it is renewable, which means that the person who holds the leasehold interest will have the first right of renewing the lease when the duration is up. So yes, it's possible to hold property together with other people, together with your spouse, other family members. It's possible for any one person who intends to hold property. And every lease that you hold is possible to renew under the right circumstances. Once you are paying the appropriate value for it, and you've been able to reach out to the necessary actors, maybe the chief, the land.
One of her specific question was about inheritance. Can she pass on her inheritance? Yes.
Definitely. So far as you own the property, you can pass it on. So this is what is going to happen. If you own the property, you definitely can pass it on. You can will it. You can gift it. Okay. You can, yes. So what happens is that if in the course of um the the ownership duration of the person who has inherited, the lease is expired, that person will now be responsible for renewing the lease.
Okay. Second one
Yes,
is,
please. If it
do
was,
you need to have
hmm?
a resident permit in order to own property?
No, not at all.
Okay. Right. Tahira,
Not at
you
all.
can add any more if
So
it is not answered.
Yeah,
Tahira?
actually, I have a dual citizenship with Ghana. When during the year of return, when Nana awarded African Americans, and my son also has, his father's Ghanaian, and he also has a Ghanaian citizenship.
Oh, okay. So
What
you're
about people like us? Now, but technically a naturalized citizen, and my son is a Ghanaian from his father, and he also has his Ghanaian passport. So what
yeah,
about for?
so it even helps. So far as you hold Ghanaian
citizenship.
citizenship, what it means is that your leasehold can even go beyond a term of 50 years. So you can even have a better interest in the land.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you, Tashira. Great. Thank you, Kwame.
Any hands up?
Is there any additional questions?
There's some
that we
questions in the chat.
Oh,
Candace,
yes.
Melissa had questions.
I have a question, but I can't raise my hand if it's okay for me to
Yes, it's
ask.
okay.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, first and foremost, for this informative session. One of my questions is the property disability friendly? Are there ramps? Are there have people with mobility issues been thought about when it comes to the building of this property? And will it have like elevators, etc.?
Yes, I'm gonna start and then I will have Phoebe and his team chime in. We do have elevators. It is mobility friendly, and part of the 2.0 is also addressing those strongly regarding the question that you asked. Phoebe, do you want to maybe take a minute or so just to go over the specifications of the building itself with the understanding that we are still perfecting the final?
Yes. So just to give the assurance, we would not be permitted if our building is not disability friendly. It's one of the major laws in Ghana for public buildings or shared facilities. So we have 4 lifts. Currently, based on we have 4 lifts. We have ramps for the ground floor, and then we have signages with voice to ensure that we are able to communicate. So yes, the building, according to the building code, we have to meet all these things. Without it, the building not being passed for construction.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much. My second question is, how will the utilities be handled in terms of water source, power reliability, drainage and waste management, and in terms of like internet readiness?
The building will have internet. As far as the waste management, it will be tied in accordance with the local area. And I believe with the CHEMSO, we're tying it to the main. That will be confirmed in the construction specifications, but it's an existing building for which everything is already working and tied to. The only difference is that we are updating it to suit the condominium that we are building. We'll be able to put the more specifications on it for you in April when we launch that out, but it will be addressed and we will have full internet. As far as the separation of the meters, we're considering either having each unit have a separate meter, or we may have the entire building have it. That is something that will also, we are looking at a third-party review to understand which is the best option to go. So on April 6th, that will be answered and addressed as well.
Okay, will there be any like clean energy, like solar energy, and will there be a generator for the building?
Solar is a part of the plan that we have. Consa, who is our contractor, did present that, and we are going to be
I think she meant
reviewing
there be
that.
a standby generator.
Hi,
Go ahead,
can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes, yes. I have two questions. One is, are you able to purchase this as an investment property? And would you guys, if yes, would you guys offer services to help with renting it out? And then a second question, I don't think I heard prices yet, so I'm not sure if you have that available, but do you also have will you have any financing options on the Ghana side, or is that something we have to work on ourselves?
Sure. To answer your first question, yes and yes. So we will be able to do that. Regarding the pricing, right now we are between 140 and 160 as a starting price per unit, 140,000 to 160 as a starting price. One of the things that we're also doing is we do understand that cost is important. What is also happening in the DHMS area is important. Looking at the market in Accra is important. We're looking at all of those and comparing the pricing to making sure that one, not only are we delivering a very good and efficient product, but also is the price competitive to what we're building and what is going to be compared to when you take a look at it. So we're going to be starting between 140 and 160. And we have 1 bedrooms and up, 1 to 3 bedrooms. I think your other question about financing. Right now, we do not have any partner that is offering financing to you if you're interested in buying. We assume that you will find financing, but we are open to talking to anyone if you know an agency or company or lender that is interested in offering financing to the group. I'd be able to interview them, talk to them, and see what their offer is, and then be able to present to the group at a later time. So no financing lender on board currently.
Okay, Corey.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I have a question. Does Ghana have a taxation that you would have to pay property tax or any type of, taxation structure that we would have to think about if we took up residency in Ghana?
Good question.
I think, Kwame, I may need you to answer that question for me.
Please, can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, thank you. The property, if it's going to be used as an investment property or a commercial property, then the returns that are going to proceed from there will have to be taxed. Secondly, if it is sold or alienated, the profits that are realized from it will also be taxed. Ghana also has a regime, a property tax regime, and so there are laws that govern the taxation of property. And so when you own a property like that, the law is that you ought to be taxed a certain amount based on the value of your property. However, the enforcement of it is not as stringent. And so what is there to understand is that obviously at the back of your mind, you know that there's a property tax regime that is in place. If the authorities are able to enforce it, you might have to pay it. But if the enforcement is not done, or if nobody comes to you to demand it, then obviously you wouldn't have to pay. But it's important to realize that once the regime is there, you must almost always make preparation for that. Yes. So that's coupled with you paying tax if you want to use it as an investment property is something that we must take note of.
So Kwame, to make it call a summary, you are saying in theory, yes, Ghana has a property ownership tax. In practice, you could get away with it or not. That is your answer?
You can get away with it, but it's important to know that there is a property tax regime. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, it's a property tax, and like in the U.S. and any other nation, you have to be responsible with your tax preparer. Right. I want to let V know to check the chat for questions. There are quite a few good questions in there. I also want to take this moment to let individuals know that VASE is a member of the U.S. Ghana Chamber of Commerce. A lot of these questions about Ghana, its culture, its business, its ministries can be addressed through that vehicle. So any additional questions that you have that deal specifically with life in Ghana, business, as well as commercial, education, medical, we can assist you in getting those answers. VASE is construction. They have the legal team behind the purchasing. But for those finite questions, we have a team in place that can assist you with getting those answers, both in the commercial sector and the residential sector. And we're here to answer your questions throughout the steps and make sure that those questions that are very personal can be addressed. And then we will add those questions to the facts so that those that are reoccurring regarding taxation, ownership, leasehold versus landhold can be answered.
V, there is a very important question, V. It's if people finally purchase the condos, would maintenance be done by the owners separately, or will it be VASE Ghana maintenance in-house?
We're gonna manage the maintenance in-house. I think that if you're buying a condominium, especially in Ghana, your goal is to live there and not have to worry about the minutiae of maintaining the place. So that will fall under VASE. I do want to say, Stephanie, thank you for that, because that also reminded me to say that, in the past few months or so, via time and via resources, we've been making some time investments in working with organizations that are going to be very vital to this particular project, which goes back to what I mentioned earlier, that this takes a village. And we are very diligent, as Stephanie mentioned, that we are a member of the U.S. Chamber, because we know that for some of you that are going there not just to live or to put your kids through school, business and investment is important to you. And I was very glad that Stephanie encouraged us to have that as part of this project. And we're consistently going to bring in these kind of resources to help you and answer the questions, and hopefully continue to get you the comfort level that you need. All right. It looks like I might be missing. Some people may not be able to raise their hand. So if you have a question, please go ahead and ask it.
Oh, that is an important question. Did you say, V, that the grand opening, there will be a chartered plane?
Yes. from Accra to Kumasi, not from the US.
From Accra to Kumasi.
That's the plane from Accra to Kumasi. Not from the US to Ghana, yes.
That's good.
I see some questions on the chat. I apologize. If you have a question on the chat and we have not addressed it, please go ahead and ask the question. I also wanted to mention some last minute items, as in we are going to be dedicating once a month for this info session. The next info session is going to be on March 28th, Saturday, March 28th. So if you have more questions and you want to come back, or if you know anyone that might be interested in this project or this investment endeavor, please invite them to come. And, of course, we welcome you back. Over the course of the time as we move forward, feel free to submit your questions to Stephanie and myself at an ongoing time. And then if you did not register for this event and you joined in, please make sure that you give us your email address, because once we launch in April, we are going to be sending information to those that have expressed interest in this particular investment endeavor. Okay.
Who is the Candice of Spain that people are talking about? Somebody said, huh?
Candice?
Yeah, somebody said they will be happy to meet Candice of Spain.
That's B. Hi.
Hi, Candice. Okay. Oh, actually, Phoebe, can you hear me? Phoebe.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can
I
hear
have
you.
a question for you. Yesterday you told me something very interesting with you and your team and the kin. Can you elaborate on that for the team here?
Oh, okay. So the team lead happens to be a chief with them, and works as the liaison officer for the King's Lands. His true name is Nana Osuefi, and his position is the Toon Force Apejahne, which is literally like the chief of staff for the monarch, traditional chief of staff for the monarch. He's an architect by profession, and usually the king receives guests on Wednesdays and Sundays, specific days. We call it the Wukude and then the Aposide. And for a project like this, which is very close to the monarch's area, we'll be happy to introduce your team, so that your team can at least have a feel of the Ashanti culture, meet the king, and then see what the whole city is about. So that's what he was saying, and he's ready and willing to facilitate that meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are going to make sure that you enrich yourself in the Ashanti Ghana culture.
V,
Yes.
I just want to make sure that everyone has my email address. It is Stephanie, STEPHANIE, at vasemanagement.com. We are already working with prospective buyers to get multitude of questions answered as it relates to Ghana, the legal system and industry. So please direct any of those questions to me. And through our collaborations and our relationship with the government directly and auxiliary organizations, we can see that you, your team, and your family get those questions answered. Okay? Stephanie at vasemanagement.com.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. All right.
Tahira?
So, I'm sorry. There's one more question. Okay.
Tahira, go ahead. Oh, no.
Actually, Hubbard, I invited him. He said he can't speak now, but he typed a question in the chat. He wanted to know about the VAT. Is it accurate 15% plus 2.5 NHIL and 2.5% GET fund? He said in the past the VAT was 5% because he just wanted to know about the VAT and the taxes, I guess. That's the question he put in the chat.
Oh, I see. I think we talked about that too, Kwame. Can you confirm the percentage of that? And we'll make sure that we put that in the FAQs and also consistently update in case it changes. But Kwame can chime in on that if he chooses to.
Yes, essentially, I think I've come across that question in the chat. 15% VAT, 2.5 NHIL. Yes, that's accurate. That's the current percentage. That's the current regime that we are operating. Yes, if the person wants a clarification, then that's it.
Okay.
15% VAT. The figures, they are accurate. Yes.
All right. Good.
Excellent. Also, we have a WhatsApp group chat. I'd love for everybody that is in here to be able to join. If you give us your permission, if you have a WhatsApp, we'll take your cell phone number and put that in there. The significance of that is that we can use that group chat to be able to answer questions live going as we go forward. So with that being said, I'm sorry, there was one other person I do want to introduce. I apologize, I missed it. So somebody had asked the question about visa, and I wanted to have Christine. So Christine is here with us. Yes, of course. Some of you that have already gone to Ghana before, you use your own method. But Christine is here to help this group specifically in terms of if you're going to Ghana for the first time and you need help navigating the visa or buying the tickets. Christine is here to help you with that. So Christine, can you just do a quick introduction? And all of the information about Christine can be found at the VASE Ghana website as well. But Christine, can you just chime in a bit about your support to the team that might need your services?
Hey V, thanks. Great information. I'm glad we're getting forward with the project, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name's Christine. I have a travel agency that I'm working with VAMV in conjunction with the trip either to Ghana for the purchase or for the excursion into Kumasi. My information is on the website. My phone number, both personal and my business phone number, is already online. I'm looking forward to either the visa process with Ghana. I'm in the DC area, so I'm pretty close to the Ghanaian embassy here in Washington, DC. And I look forward to working with the group. Thank you.
I think it's very important because several people have asked about visiting the site and the space. So the tour is scheduled for December. So I think Melissa and a couple of other individuals had asked about that. I think that perhaps you want to take advantage of that. And I do know that there's several trade tours that are going to Ghana between now and December. So we are able to assist anyone who happens to be in Ghana or in the area in reference to interacting with individuals in Kumasi. So let us know if you are going to be in Ghana during that time, and we can work with you to see what we can do to ensure that you are able to see or explore the region. But I do want to encourage those people who are unfamiliar to take advantage of the December tour.
Kristen,
I agree with Stephanie
quick one,
100%.
because people want to know, what is the turnaround if you receive visa applications?
The
How
visa,
many? Yeah, days.
I think they're giving 21 days.
21 days. So whoever needs your assistance needs to send you the package, say, and 21 days for them to get it back.
Yeah.
And I will seriously encourage you, because the cost difference is less than $100, to get multiple entry. Do not get a single entry, get multiple entry. That way you don't have to do this again for a few more years to come. Thank you for that, Christine, for offering that help. Regarding the site access, you're right. We'd love for you guys to come on December so that we can show you. The other part that I wanted to mention to you is, if you are in Ghana before the trip and you do want to go into the site itself, you just have to give me you can talk to, whether you're talking to Stephanie or myself, give me some time, maybe about 1 week's heads up, and we'll make arrangements so you can go and see the site in any time between now and December. Okay. All right. All right. Well, this was exciting. I am extremely excited that all of you guys are going to buy a unit and you're going to come to the tour.
But there's a
Hopefully.
few new development going on in West Africa. So 2019, Ghana launched the year of return, which means anyone Black in the diaspora and wants to return to Ghana, you could apply and have a resident permit or citizenship. That becomes a citizenship. The first notable person was, of course, Rita Marley, the widow of Bob Marley. She's now a full citizen. Now, Benin followed suit. Just last year, October, Benin announced now it calls it Back to the Roots. And our filmmaker, Spike Lee, is now the ambassador between those who want to return to Benin. And Tiara is the first person to get a. So across West Africa, this is happening, which means if you are in Ghana and you get a Ghana ID card, which is the ECOWAS card, you can travel to Benin, Togo, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast while you are there. So the return to the roots is happening, and everybody is looking for something outside somewhere. And Ghana currently is the hottest country on the globe because of one. Everybody comes home to say it: safety. You have not heard yet any incident at all happening to any visitor to Ghana. So this is exciting. I was born in Benin, but because of Ghana's attraction, my parents have to move to Ghana. And so I grew up in Ghana and I speak the three major languages fluently. So that is my home, even though I was born in Benin.
Excellent. And I would like to say thank you to our great host, Frank. And thank you to the team that is here, Phoebe, Tony, Kwame, Kristen, just everyone that is on here. We really appreciate your time. And then also for everyone here that took time out of your busy schedule to join us today, we absolutely thank you. And Stephanie, thank you for organizing this program. So
V, is this recording gonna be available? I will be following up with everyone who attended via email, but will the actual recording be available?
Yes, yes, the recording will be available to Stephanie in the next by Monday. So you can reach out to Stephanie after Monday and she'll share with you the recording today. Okay. All right, everyone. We are a few minutes ahead of schedule, which is great. But thank you so much again, and have a wonderful rest of the weekend.